Good afternoon, YouTubies. Welcome back. It's Sweet Susie, and I'm coming at you with a 22 hashtag 22 tarot tag. I believe is what it's called, or maybe it's the 22 favorites tag. I'm not too sure. I have a bunch, and I have 14 decks that I'm sharing from. I have more decks than this, but these are the ones that I have favorites from so far. The other decks that I have, I haven't got a strong enough relationship, I feel, to really say which one's my favorite. So let's get started. And the first deck I'm coming at you with, my favorites are, what ones did I have picked for this deck? Oh, The Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. And what it is you're to pick so many major arcana cards that are your favorite out of each deck, and at least 22 of them. I'm pretty sure I went well over my limit, but that's me, I guess. This one's the High Priestess. The Chariot was my next favorite for this deck, because I am a big time horse lover. I love horses. The Strength card, and the Hermit. So there's my three for that deck. I also have a Royal Dark Tarot mini deck, and I'm pretty sure this is Temperance, but it's an angel. This one is the High Priestess. There's a lot of nudity too in this deck. A lot of nudity. And the Empress. Next one will be the Vampire's Tarot, and I had 4 out of this deck. So the Lovers, the Chariot, and see with this deck, it's really, this is a super dark deck. You know, both for like shadow, I do shadow work with this. But anyway, that's a panther instead of like normal horses for a chariot. Strength card, which is another different. She's on a panther. I really love that. The Empress. Very Victorian-esque feel. And I think we already did we do the Lovers? I'm not a really big fan of the Lovers card for some reason. It just seems kind of hokey, but I do have a couple that I like. Next one is the Wild Unknown, and that is the Strength card. The Chariot, pretty horse, and the High Priestess. Beautiful. Next deck will be Dreams of Gaia and the Crone. Now the Crone, I don't know about y'all, but if you're familiar with the Lady Grave Dancer, that to me looks like a long-haired version of the Lady Grave Dancer. I really love this Death card. It says Death and rebirth, and it's like a little baby in the womb. Intuition. This reminds me of a witch. I love this card. Okay, and that's for that deck. Oh, well, I had... Oh, other ones I had picked for that deck was the Empress. And this was for the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. The Empress. The Emperor. I just think he's so sexy. And the Lovers. I really like the, the two lovers and the angel up here. Okay. This one is Journey of the Hidden Realm, and I really, really, really love the strength card on this because it's totally different. It's not like, Rider-Waite-Smith. It uses a wolf instead, so it's got a very pagan feel to it, but it's supposed to be like the Fae. Justice. And the Fool. The Fool reminds me of my oldest son. Because it's kind of like him. It's got his spirit in the card. Okay. The next one I'm going to do is Crystal Visions. The Emperor. The Empress. You're going to see I really love the Empress in a lot of my decks. Even though my life playing cards, the Hermit, and my Zodiac is the Devil. Okay, and the next one is Wildwood. And the Wonder reminds me of Peter Pan, I'm telling you. Journey, which is actually traditionally what we'd know as the Death card. The Seer, which I guess would be like a medium, but traditionally known as the High Priestess. So she's just not this sexy looking vixen that the High Priestess normally is. And this is one of my favorite decks to use, but I use it for shadow work too when I need a not so swift kick in the ass. It's a little bit more gentle as far as the looks of it go. This is the Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Pullman Law. I hope I didn't tear her name up too bad. But that's the Chariots, and it's unicorns, and you don't see a lot of unicorns in tarot. The Empress, I had this as my, the background on my cell phone for the longest time, my lock screen. It's real pretty. Butterflies, I love butterflies. Another Lovers card I like. Real pretty. Kind of like reminds me of what are those things? Dream catchers. That little circle up here reminds me of a dream catcher. So that's that deck. Just about done. I really love the Druidcraft deck, and I think the reason why is because Druidry relates to Bridget a lot. Now, I'm not sure what card would be her in this deck, but, that would be like a whole other subject, I guess. But, the three cards I really love out of this are, I'm going to screw his name up, Cernunnos. I really like this deck. Rebirth. Instead of, the traditional stallion and skeleton on a horse, you've got a little baby and a bunny rabbit. The lady, and she's typically the Empress, but I just love the, the Druid feel of the Empress in this one. These cards go. Oh, over there. Okay. The Morgan Greer Tarot. The Devil. And I laugh when I see it because it's so oaky. Strength. And the Hermit. And yes, this is the tin version. I love it. It's amazing. I sit and shuffle through this while I'm watching TV. Next one on my list is the Triple Goddess Tarot. And I love the meditation feel to this High Priestess card. Chariot. And normally, I don't like the Hierophant card just because the Hierophant card just feels so... It just feels too much like religion. So, this is a totally different feel. I just can't quite put my finger on it, but it just feels different, and I like it. So, that's the Hierophant. Totally different. Totally different. Okay. Oh, my other card, and I have a couple of decks that they're on my altar, which we'll pause and we'll go take a look at them. Because those are two of my favorite cards. But this is like one of the first decks I started working with, and it's the Loominatee Tarot by Eric C. Dunn. And I love his Illuminati and Apocalypse Tarot. They're among my favorite decks. Probably the top two. The Devil, I find him so... And I normally do not like the Devil card either. Even if it is my Zodiac card. But I think this guy is so freaking sexy. I mean, just look at him. Sexy as hell. The Strength card. And if I could ever get a tattoo to cover up the sweep that's on my leg, I would probably get this Hermit. This is the tattoo I want of a hermit, of the Hermit. She's my favorite because she reminds me of Queen Elizabeth, and anybody that knows me knows I love to read. And Queen Elizabeth is my heroine of history. And I just feel she reminds me of Queen Elizabeth so much. Like his whole sword suit in this deck has a very Tudor feel to it, and he said that's exactly what he was striving for. So I was like blown away. And the High Priestess, and I just love her. She just looks awesome. She reminds me of a big ass butterfly / moth. She's beautiful. All the colors, different colors of blue. Blue is awesome. Favorite color. Okay, so I'm going to pause yet, and we're going to go back, and we're going to go see the other two that I was talking about on my altar.